Okay, so we continue with our discussion. We now proceed with the standards on escorting a guest. So, how do we escort the guest? So, basically, the front desk agent will introduce the bellman to the guest. Okay, so once the guest says that he needs assistance for his luggages, you have to ring the bell, and then the bellman will approach you. And then what you're going to say is that, all right, Mr. Smith, this is, let's say, John. Okay, this is John, our bellman. He will be the one to assist you with your luggages. Okay, so you have to introduce the bellman, okay, as a front desk staff. Then the bellman handles and carries the luggages according to the hotel property standards. So we always have to take care of the luggages of our guests if you are the bellman of the hotel. And then after such, you have to put them on uh, the luggage cart. So this is the luggage cart. Okay, so you have to place all of the luggages in the luggage cart, and then after such, make sure that the heavy things are located at the bottom of the luggage cart. The lighter things should be at the top, because if you place the heavier things at the top, it will squeeze in all of the other things at the bottom. You have to be very careful about the luggages of your guests, otherwise it will be a liability on the hotel. Okay. The bellman escorts and familiarizes the guest on the hotel facilities and services. So while you're walking around towards the room, okay, while you're inside the elevator, the bellman has to talk to the guest, okay, and tell them about the facilities, okay, especially if the guest is located on a certain floor with a certain hotel facility. So you may say that, oh, great, sir, you are located at the 12th floor, and basically on the 13th floor, just the floor above you, is our roof deck bar. Okay, you can enjoy your cocktails there, your afternoon cocktails there. Okay, so the bellman has to be engaged with the guests um, while he is assisting the guest towards his room. Okay, and then once you reach the room, the bellman has to open the door. Okay, do not let the guests open the door for themselves. It's basically a usual standard. However, some would guests would say, "No, don't mind it. I can do it by myself." So you let the guests, okay? But as part of the standards, you will be the one to open the door. Then after such, you unload the luggage. You don't bring the luggage cart inside the room. Okay, again, do not bring the luggage cart inside the room. You have to unload the bags from the luggage cart and bring them inside the room. Okay, next. After you unload the luggages and you have placed the luggages inside the room, you have to check the room condition and functionality. So how do you do that? Basically, there are some guests who will just sit down on the bedside. What you're going to do is to open the curtains, check if the curtains are okay. You turn on sometimes the television is not yet turned on once the key card has been placed on the room slots. So basically, you have to turn on the TV also. You have to check the bathroom if the bathroom amenities are complete. Okay, so those are the functions of the bell. It's basically the last check before everything else will happen. Okay, and then after such, um, you have to explain the room features, no? So if there are any, and then after that you have to leave the room and bid the guests goodbye. So you just always tell them that, sir, if you need anything else, if you need any services from our hotel, you just dial zero for our operator. Okay, so that's the basic thing. Okay, dial zero for the operator. Or if there are multiple numbers that the guest has to dial to reach a certain department, just tell them that, sir, there's a temp card in front of the telephone, so you can just dial the number to reach a certain department of the hotel. So that's how you do it for escorting the guest. Now, we move to another function of the front desk department, which is basically performing a showroom. What is a showroom? So when we talk about a showroom, this is an activity in the hotel at which the front desk personnel will conduct a tour of the guest room of the property for a prospective corporate, group, or VIP guest. So this must be done in close coordination with the sales and marketing department and the housekeeping department. So basically, this is an activity as a sales activity, okay, being done by the front office team. in order to show the product information on a personal note, no, to our guest. So how do we perform showroom? So these are the standards. Number one, the hotel staff has must have a superior product knowledge of the different room types, the different room amenities, okay, and other things that is needed to be uh, uh, memorized, okay, by a certain front desk staff. Okay, hotel staff should coordinate with the sales and marketing and housekeeping department about the showroom request. If the sales and marketing said yes, you can do the showroom, the housekeeping department says yes, the showrooms are clean, then we can conduct the showroom requirement. Now, how do you do this? Now, the first thing is that the hotel staff has to prepare the sales kit and brochures so you can get it from the marketing department. So it's normally a folder which includes the different product information of the hotel. Okay, so such as room features. They also have the banquet features. They have function rooms, okay, stuff. And then the next thing that you have to do is to program all the key cards that will be used. Make sure that the key cards are programmed on the right showroom numbers, no? Baka mamaya mali yung keycard mo, you really have to go down pa. Hahassle pa yung guest mo. So, make sure that all of the rooms are, keycards are programmed. One of the processes that they're doing right now in showrooms is that the key cards are already stacked inside the showroom. And the showrooms are already open. Okay? So that uh, you don't need to knock on the door anymore. But in some hotels, what they do is they program the key cards and then you will be the one to open it once you visited the room. Okay, or once you bring in the prospective guest in the room. Okay, so next is in conducting the showroom, you always start with the highest floor down to the lowest floor. Okay, this is a standard in terms of conducting a showroom. So if you have a 13-story building, a 15-story building, you need to start at the roof deck. Okay, if you have a roof deck bar, you start with the roof deck bar to showcase the roof deck bar. But if you don't have any roof deck bars or whatever facilities at the roof deck, you start with the highest floor number. And some cases, normally the suite rooms are located at the topmost floor, probably 14th floor or whatever, 12th floor. You showcase those first. Okay, and then you go down floor by floor. Okay, so normally, the standard rooms are located on the sixth, fifth, third, yan, mga mabababang floors na siya. Okay? So, uh, also, you have to highlight each hotel facilities in every floor, if there are any. Okay? And then you maintain proper decorum at all times. So, this is a chance for you to showcase hospitality to your guests, but you don't go overboard. Okay? So, you still have to maintain professionalism. And you also have to answer all guest inquiries, particularly the room size, the type of bed, the number of thread counts of the duvet. They will be asking you that, especially if you will be touring some hotel professionals, no? And then after that, you escort the participants back to the lobby and then take them for considering the hotel. Or sometimes, you escort them back to the lobby and endorse them to a sales and marketing personnel for further probing of the guest. Alright, so welcome back. Let's continue with our discussion. So we're done with the reservation phase. We're done with the registering, welcoming, registering, and also performing of the showrooms. Now, what we're going to focus now is the departure standards of our guests. So these are the different standard policies that we're going to do when a guest is actually checking out at the hotel. So the first one is the guest request checkouts. So normally the front office staff must call the guest in advance to notify the departure or to find out if there are any intent for the guest to extend their stay. So normally this call will happen at around 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning. So if the guest is expected to depart today, the front desk will be calling them at around 9 or 10. So that's right after the buffet breakfast time. So the front desk will be calling them and say, "Good morning, Mr. Smith. This is John from the front office. You are expected to depart today. May we ask if you wish to extend your stay with us?" So if the guest will say, no, I'm checking out. All right, sir. We will be preparing the bill, and please let us know if you will be checking out so that we can also send our bellman for to assist you on putting down your luggage. Okay, so yeah. And then afterwards, the desk clerk inquires the guest to stay. So once the guest actually arrives at the front desk for their checkout, the FO staff will now gather feedback from them. So how do they gather? They gather basically on four different areas: the room accommodation, the food and beverage, the miscellaneous services, and the hotel services. So basically, the desk clerk will say, "All right," they will say, "Good day, sir. I believe you're checking out. So how was your stay with us? How was the room? Okay." And then you also ask them about how's the quality of our breakfast earlier, sir? Stuff like that. And then you ask them their miscellaneous services. Have you availed any of the hotel facilities, sir? Have you tried our gym? Have you tried our pool? How was it? This is a very informal way of asking for feedback, but it's very essential because you can still get uh, a first-hand information and a good source, no, from our client. It's except for tawag dito, the evaluation forms that is being allocated in the book. Okay, number three, the guest returns the key card to the front desk. The FO staff should retrieve the key card from the guest. Normally, the guest would say, the guest will not return the key card anymore because some of the guests would want the key card to be as a souvenir for them. But you know, if we are not getting the key cards from them, although it's no longer functional, it will add up to the cost of the operating cost of the hotel because it's also expensive to buy a key card. Okay, so as might as well the FO staff will ask the guest to return the key card. Now, if the guest insists that can I keep this, you can allow them to keep it. It's not a problem. Number four, the desk clerk retrieves the copy of the electronic folio. So basically, when we talk about the folio, this is the list of transactions being done by the guests while they're staying in the hotel. So you have to review the charges in the guest folio. So that includes the room fees, the taxes, the rates applied, the incidentals, and the late charges if there are any. Note that if this is a TA rate, okay, or the travel agency rate, it should not reflect on the guest folio. Again, there should be a confidentiality for the travel agency rate because they are applying a bigger discount compared to the rates being given to a corporate client or to a leisure guest. Okay? So basically, when we talk about the rates, you have to check that the guests or you have to inform the guests about the breakdown of the fees. No? So sometimes the rates that you are actually advertising includes a plus plus. It must be clear on the guest and what are the contents of the plus plus rates. So the plus plus rates are basically, let's say it was noted there that superior room 3,000 plus plus. It means to say that there are additional fees on top of 3,000 pesos. Okay, so how do you do this? You just have to mention that the plus plus includes the value added tax or VAT, which is 12%. There's a local tax, okay, a local tax which is dependent on the locality of the hotel or where the location of the hotel is. So sometimes Manila, I think, is 0.5% or whatever. Okay. Then service charges. So the service charges are basically a surcharge added on the customer's bill that is given to the hotel employees during payroll. Okay. So this is an additional fee that goes directly to the hotel employees and it's usually a 10% service charge. Okay. So after you discuss that and it's clear with the guests, the desk clerk should review the folio for completeness to prevent any guest complaints and error transactions. And then once it's good to go, you show the guest folio to the client, and then the client will now review the charges if there are any, and then they will sign the folio. After they sign the folio, you ask them for the mode of payment to pay in cash, credit cards, or send bill on a specific incidentals or certain additional availments of the guest. Then afterwards, the guest will make the payment, and then after they make the payment, you issue an OR or an official receipt. If the reservation was done through credit card, you don't need to issue an OR because the official receipt will be provided. I know, sorry. If the reservation was done by an online travel agency, say for instance Agoda or Booking.com or Expedia, you don't need to issue an OR because the booking engine will be the one to issue an OR for them. Okay? And then next is after you give the OR or you give the pertinent documents to the guest, you have to place it on an envelope by the way and give it to them. And then you ask them if there are any additional reservations. You inquire already for the next reservation. If there are none, you just say, "All right, sir. I hope you have enjoyed your stay, and I hope you can bring your friends with you the next time that you will be visiting us." So it's a way of saying that we want referrals from them as well. Okay, so that's an added bonus for your business. And then you bid the guest farewell. So you say them, all right, thank you, Mr. John Smith, for staying with us. I hope that you have had a pleasurable stay with our hotel, and we look forward to see you again. Okay, and then afterwards, if there are any negative comments, you have to report it on your chief lead or your supervisor who's available on duty. And then if there are any reservations, you process the reservation, or if you cannot process the reservation, you alert or call the reservations agent to process the booking request. If there are none, you don't need to do that. Okay. 13, the desk clerk files the folio related documents for night audit. So make sure that the guest folio is complete. Okay, the guest folio should have an attachment of the OR. It should have an attachment of all the transactions with the signed folio of the guest. Okay, for auditing purposes. Um, this is very crucial because if you fail to do so, it can be charged to you. Okay? So, very crucial po ang work ng ating front desk clerks. Next is desk clerks communicate guest departure to the housekeeping and other departments if necessary. Alright? So, that is the end of our lecture for front office. For the revenue management, there will be a separate portion for our synchronous discussion. Kindly prepare your calculators and Google Sheets for revenue management computation. So at this point in time, we are going to compute for occupancy percentage, room nights, number of covers, etc., etc., and computation of rates and forecasting. Okay, so I hope you're ready for that synchronous meeting. Okay, so thank you very much and have a great day.